Hey everybody, Craig from Customish here. I'm just going to put together a video on how to assemble the ball bearing drawer for the cabinet in the Westie. This is just a general overview of what you get in the kit. So all the hardware for assembly, all the wood screws to go into the side, the actual drawer itself, the ball bearing drawer slides, and then all the 3D printed hardware is custom designed to mount into the walls of the cabinet. These are all your offsets for your drawer, and then these are all the pieces to assemble the cabinet. The tools you required to put this together minimum is just a number 2 Phillips. You could get away with just a number 2 Phillips. I would highly recommend some sort of power screwdriver. Alright, so assembly. So here are all the pieces to assemble the drawer, which is where we're going to start. So we assemble the wooden drawer first using these 6 brackets and these pieces of wood. Now step 1 is you're going to have to insert the square nuts into the plastic corner mounts. So dump out all your square nuts, and then each one of these have a square hole. Push them in. Some of them are going to go in harder than others depending on the print orientation. There is a little trick if they go in tight. Take one of the screws, one of the M4 screws, put it through, and then just tighten it all the way down. And then once it's tight, it will actually suck that square nut into place. So you don't have to do that, but sometimes it's an easier way to do it. It'll suck that right in and hold it in place. And anyway, so now go through and insert all the square nuts into all the brackets. Alright, now once you have all the square nuts inserted into the corner brackets, you can actually start putting the wood pieces together. These 2 shorter pieces are your side pieces. These are your front and rear. Now this is obviously the bottom, and there are 4 holes on one side. Those 4 holes are the front. So the front with your handle, and then I go 1 corner at a time just to make it easy. So all these are labeled right left, right rear, front left, and front right. So this is the front left corner. Dump them in. The way I do this is I assemble the entire thing, and there is some disassembly you have to do to put on the drawer slides, but it's just easier for me to put the whole box together and then take those few screws out in order to mount the bearing drawer slides. Okay, once you get all 4 corners mounted, now the box is solid, it isn't going to fall apart. Now put these in, which are your handle supports. Just stops this piece from flexing when you open the drawer. So those go right on either side of each handle. Alright, now that is fully assembled. Alright, now that the box is fully assembled, it's time to add your ball bearing drawer slides. So the first thing you have to do is take these things apart. So open them up, push down this tab, and pull the 2 pieces apart. Same with the other. Now the opening faces towards the rear. So this faces towards the rear, and you will have this slot in the front, and then the slot and the hole in the back. So I don't know if you can see that there, but those are the holes it lines up with. And start removing screws and mounting these on the front. Alright, now this drawer is completely finished. Both slides on either side, all 4 corners in, and the 2 handle supports in the front. Now it is time to mount, before we go into the cabinet, now it is time to mount the standoffs on the slides. So These are the rear of the slides with this rubber stopper. Alright, so now I need to mount these. These are the rear. This is the front here. We're mounting to this hole and this hole. This section faces down and this section faces forward. So front right, rear right. Now on the rears, the long again faces down. And the reason that these are long on the bottom is so you can just rest them on top of the shelf in the cabinet. You don't have to do any measuring. The same reason that piece in the front is so long, that butts up against the front, so there's zero measuring involved. All you do is plop these on the shelf, and I'll show you that in a minute. These just sit on the shelf and all the way forward. Put 4 screws on either side and you're done. Also, these have metal hardware inside, so feel free to get after these. You don't have to, just same as the corner brackets. There's no attachment to plastic here. You're not just screwing into plastic, you're screwing into stainless steel. It's good and strong. So snug these up. And now both of these are finished and this is finished. It's time to go down to the cabinet and actually install this thing. Alright, now first things first, we have to remove this. This has to open all the way in order for these drawers to work. So remove this. If you need to replace it with a bolt, that would work. But unfortunately you won't be able to use this as well as these at the same time. You could put a much shorter bolt in here if you needed to, if you still wanted to use this, but not, you have to remove this piece. Now, this opens all the way. Now it's time to install the drawer slides. Alright, now it's time to install the drawer slide. So this piece on the bottom and this piece in the front, it just slides into place. Solid against the bottom, solid against the front. Make sure the rear is touching. And now just put in your 4 screws here, 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 and here. And then repeat on the other side. All right, now that both of our ball bearing drawers are in place, open these, line up these openings, move these bearing tracks to the front, and then slide these in right here. And then gently push it back. And that's it. You're in business. Alright, so that's it for the install. There is the option of running multiple, so once you install the top shelf, you just remove the shelf below it, and then you can add another one or possibly 3. Now, I will warn you, if you go with 3, you're going to have to worry about the drain hose from the sink. There are some instructions, I'll link them either below or in the side of the video, on how to build a drain that'll go back down and back forward, so it'll stay out of the way of this. But it'll quite easily fit with 2. Anyways, that's the install on this. If there's any questions, just shoot me an email, craig@customish.net, or leave a comment below or something along those lines. Other than that, thanks for watching and enjoy.